Hello, everyone. This is Faith at Faith and Books, and I'm getting really excited about Sustainability July, which is an event that I made up. I did it last year, and I'm doing it again this July. And I will put the names of everything I mention in this down in the show notes. But I'm not going to link. And the reason why I'm nervous about linking to things is I linked a long time ago to something, and then some virus attacked that site and made it bad. But YouTube sent me a notice saying that if that happened again, they were gonna, I don't know, do something dire to my channel. I don't know what. Anyway, and it was completely outside my control. I didn't realize that was something that could happen. So I don't like to link. I'm nervous. I don't know how to deal with that. But I will just put the names. I mean, you can easily search and find whatever I refer to. So Sustainability July. July is coming up. It's now June. What is today? The 6th, maybe? And it's inspired by Plastic Free July. And you can Google that. It's a whole thing where you pledge to give up some single-use plastic that you use. Find some sort of swap, some way to avoid it. And it's just a step in the right direction to help us avoid and get away from our reliance on plastic, which is super harmful from inception to, well, it never dies, it never goes away, but it's just horrible for the environment, and it turns out for humans all the way through. So we really, really need to reduce our use of plastic. And of course, we need to turn off the faucet and get corporations to stop relying so much on plastic too. But by giving it up and being very public about trying to avoid plastic, we put pressure on the corporation. So anyway, Plastic Free July is just kind of a very gentle way to go about trying to change our lifestyle and start living more in tune with, I mean, for me, for my values. I don't want to go around harming the planet, for no good reason. So Plastic Free July inspired Sustainability July. And I've already made an announcement and another reference to it in another video I made. But the two books we'll be reading are Laudato Si, which is an encyclical by Pope Francis that he published in 2015. And then we're also going to read a secular book, Nature's Best Hope by Tallemy, who is a professor at the University of Delaware, and he started this whole thing called the Homegrown National Park. That's another thing you can search and look for, and it's a whole thing about making your yard, just respecting the environment, the ecosystem that you happen to live in, and instead of just having these artificial lawns that are so harmful, maintaining turf grass is very, very expensive and requires a lot of input from petroleum-based fertilizers and that sort of thing. Also, we tend to landscape with species, plants that come from other areas of the world, and they're spreading, and often they become invasive, which is a big problem because they eradicate the native plants because they don't have any natural thing to eat them. And so then all the whole ecosystem is thrown off, and the insects and the butterflies and the birds, they don't have what they need to survive in the particular ecosystem. So we have to stop thinking of our lawns as sort of being outside of nature. We live on the planet, and what we do with our land is important. And so Nature's Best Hope is all about changing that mindset, learning about the alternative ways that we can take care of our property, kind of getting rid of the very middle class, or I don't want to diss on the middle class, but just a very classist notion that all our suburban houses have to be maintained and landscaped the exact certain way, or else somehow you're some sort of slovenly, Slav. And that's not true. That's just a really, talk about social constructs. That's a social construct that's very detrimental to, the environment. So that's what that book's about. And it's really interesting. and really well written. And so those are the two books. So Laudato Si and Nature's Last Hope. Best Hope. I was going to say Last Hope, which that's too depressing. So it's Nature's Best Hope. So those are the two books I want to read. I'm looking at documentaries that I want to watch. I think I want to watch. I'm interested. So the two sustainability issues that I'm interested in have to do with food, the food industrial complex and all the harm it does to the earth, to the planet, and to our health, and how becoming more of a locavore and being more intentional about what I eat, how I buy things, that sort of thing, can really contribute to not only a healthier lifestyle, but just it contributes to the environment in a much healthier way. And the other thing I'm going to concentrate is the Doug Tallemy book, Native Gardening, basically. So those are the things I'm going to focus on. I do want to watch at least one documentary on the plastic problem, and I want to try and do a more updated one. It seems like there was a spate of a lot of documentaries back in the 2000s, and now not so much, but I think there's one from 2017 that has Jack Johnson in it. I'm going to look around, but you can Google, you can Google plastic pollution documentaries, and you'll come across something. I also was Googling around for documentaries on eating organic and the reforming our food system and that sort of thing, and there were a couple. One was Cooked by Michael Pollan, and what was the other one? It was 4 things: acid, something, something, something. It was about cooking. Oh, what was it about? The things you need: acid, salt, the 4 things you need to make something taste good. And it was a woman who I think she wrote a book, but there's a documentary. Anyway, well, I'll look it up and I'll put it in the show notes. So those are the things that I'm looking at. I'm also really interested in Vandana Shiva, who is an Indian activist, a woman. She's a professor, and she is really against the corporate agribusiness, the globalization of agriculture and the way it's in the hands of a few companies. And she wants food autonomy for countries, and she's very well spoken. And I keep seeing that they're going to make a documentary about her, but it's supposed to come out in 2023. I'm on the email list. Anyway, if and when that comes out, maybe it'll come out in July, I will watch that. But I'm going to listen to a book she wrote. She wrote several books. I haven't decided which one, but I have Amazon credits, Audible credits. So I think I haven't listened to a book in months. So I think I'm going to listen to one of her books while I'm reading these other 2 books. And the thing I really want to say is that I'm going to have a giveaway, because I could not find my copy of Laudato Si, the encyclical from Pope Francis. And then I found it right after I bought a new copy. So now I have 2. So here is Laudato Si on Care for Our Common Home. Encyclical letter includes discussion questions by Pope Francis. And I'm going to give this away. So this is a giveaway. Anybody who wants to participate in Sustainability July with me and wants to participate in the read-along, or even if you can't participate in the read-along in July, you could still get the book and read it later, right? So this is my extra copy, and I'm happy to give it away. I want it. You can read Laudato Si online for free. Go to the Vatican website and you'll find it. If you Google Vatican Laudato Si, it'll come right up. But I want it in a hard copy because I want to underline things and take notes and stuff like that. So I think this is it's not long, but you're reading deep thoughts, and it's thought provoking, and he says some really good stuff in here, and so it's one of those books you want to underline and make notes and stuff. So I appreciate having the hard copy. So anyway, so I'm giving this away. So if you want this, let me know in the comments and I'll respond and give you my email address, and then you can send me your mailing address, okay? So respond in the comments if you want this copy of Laudato Si. First person to respond gets it, okay? And also, I did a little bit of vlogging because I'm sort of, I'm thinking a lot about Sustainability July and what I want to do. So I'm going to attach a little vlog that I made about just little things that I'm doing right now in June to be more sustainable. All right, so I hope you enjoy it. Okay, thank you, and I'll talk to you later. Happy reading. Bye. Even though I've been under the weather for the past couple of days, I'm not watching my grandsons, I was able to clean out this freezer. And this is in preparation for Sustainability July. This freezer was awful before. I had sort of organized it, but it really needed defrosting. I hadn't defrosted in a few years. And of course that affects its ability, how much electricity it uses and its ability to keep things frozen well. So I did that, and I've got some baking soda in there. And I just wiped it down. And so in between resting, I'm trying to get a little bit of stuff done. I'm going to organize it a little bit better for when I'm ready to plug it back in later today and put stuff back. But all this will be good for sustainability because, well, my freezer will be more efficient. I'll know what's in it. It was a black hole. Like, there was just stuff in there that stuck in there and I'd forgotten about. So I don't want to waste food. I want to preserve food better, especially as I'm starting to harvest. And so, so this is a thing I'm doing, even though I'm not feeling well. And I'm going to go rest. I'm going to go make a cup of tea and rest a bit. Because I do have certain things I have to do. I have to take care of the chickens, and I have to walk the dog and feed the dog, and I have to get the 7-year-old to school. I had to water the garden because we haven't been having rain, even though the weather is just, the sky is weirdly overcast because of the the forest fires in Nova Scotia. It's all the way down here in Virginia. Anyway, we haven't had rain, so I have to water the garden, stuff like that. But now I'm ready for a rest. So anyway, there's the lovely view of my clean freezer. When I cleaned out my freezer, I found all these tomatoes from last year. And as you can see, they're more orangey than red. But I just stuck them in the freezer and then forgot about them. So what I'm doing is I'm cooking them up. And I think what I'm going to do is put them through a sieve to get rid of some of the skins at least. And then just sort of use them as chopped tomatoes. I don't know. I might have to combine them with other riper tomatoes that are fresher because they're a year old now in the freezer. Not quite a year, but I probably harvested them in September or something. And forgot about them in the freezer, which is why I'm organized my freezer. But I'm going to do something with them. I'm going to cook something with them. So, yeah. So that's what I found in my freezer, and that's what I'm trying to do so I don't waste too much food. So here is the jar of the tomatoes I made. I boiled them for a while. I seasoned them with some, a little bit of salt, a little bit of olive oil, some Italian seasoning, and I boiled them up until they were mushy, and then I just put them through a sieve, which hurt my hands, but I got a whole jar of these tomatoes. I can't really show you the rest of my kitchen. I don't want to turn my camera. You can probably see how messy it is. So I just finished doing that. I had been resting. I'm still not feeling great. Very low grade kind of thing going on, but I'm just lacking energy. So I'm gonna rest a little bit, and then my next major thing to do today is to clean the kitchen, and then I want to get around to pitting cherries that I harvested. I probably should go out and harvest more, actually. I want to pit them, and then I want to try my new dehydrator, which you can see in the background there. My husband got me a dehydrator for Christmas, and I want to try preserving some of the cherries that way. I hear dried cherries are really good, like in tuna salad or baked goods, or you can cook them up and put them on your oatmeal or in your yogurt. So, I mean, I guess heat them up. So I want to get that done maybe later today too. But first I'm going to rest a bit, and then I'm going to clean the kitchen. Here I am pitting cherries. So these are cherries that I harvested, and this is the pitter. I'm making a video, and the pits, and here are the pitted cherries, and I'm going to take some of them and make some kind of dessert, and then some of them I'm going to dry in this dehydrator, my new dehydrator. Okay, it's the next morning from all the vlogging that I did, and I just want to show you the result of my dehydrating cherry experiment. I had 2 cups that I decided to dehydrate. I have a little less than 2 cups that I kept in the fridge, and I'm going to make some kind of cherry sauce out of it. I did that once before, a couple weeks ago with the cherries when we first started to harvest them. I just made a sauce for vanilla ice cream. But I used my dehydrator for the first time. And wait, I'm vlogging. It's early in the morning, and I need to get the 7-year-old ready for school. But anyway, this was on. This is my inaugural use of it. This was on from 11:30 a.m. to 9 p.m. And I think I dried the cherries pretty. There were a couple that were thicker. So I think a strategic thing to do is to put the same size on each level. So like if you have a slightly bigger size, put it on a different level. And that way you can take off ones that are already dehydrated and leave the ones that aren't, that need a little bit more time. I don't know if I like this dehydrator. It's all plastic. I have to wash it. I think I'm going to soak it. And it's running all those hours. See, there's a heating element and then a fan element. I don't know how much electricity that uses. And out of all my work, the harvesting, the pitting, the slicing, the putting it in, and then all those hours dehydrating, I just have a little jar of dried cherries. They're delicious. So I'm just wondering how sustainable it is. I mean, there's 0 food miles. That's a good thing. Probably this little dehydrator doesn't use up as much electricity as maybe a massive dehydrator somewhere, you know, in some factory. But it's a lot of work for just a little bit. But I guess, you know, in deep winter when I want something, you know, it's not fresh because it's dried, but something that I grew myself, maybe this would be a nice thing. But yeah, this dehydrator does not hold nearly as much as I thought it would. Because you have to lay it out, and they say air has to be able to circulate around each piece. So I'll get used to using it, and I'm not convinced yet that it's, you know, it's really that sustainable. Anyway, so this is the conclusion of my vlog. I also have a couple of really quick clips of me just this morning out walking my dog, because we have so much smoke in the air. When you walk outside, you smell wood smoke. And it's very hazy, though I don't know if that comes through in the video, but it's from the Nova Scotia fires. And I'm in Northern Virginia. That's a long way away. And it's just amazing to me. I'm 63 and never has this happened in this area before. So it's just wild to me. Anyway, so that's the conclusion of this vlog. I hope you will join me for Sustainability July. I'm really concerned about the environment right now because of these huge forest fires. And we really, it's a wake-up call. We need to all start to do things that really are responsible and connect us to, you know, the earth. It's the only place we know where humans can live, and we need to take good care of her. So, all right, I will talk to you later, and happy reading. I don't know if you can tell from this, but it's really hazy out, and this is smoke from the fire in Nova Scotia. I live in Northern Virginia. I'm out walking my dog. I'm not supposed to be out because the air quality is so bad. It's code red for everybody. They've canceled all outdoor activities. And it's amazing to me, and it smells like smoke. It smells like there's a fire somewhere. It's crazy. And there's the hazy sun from all the smoke. The sun's just this hazy ball.